Hey guys, welcome back to Balls Fan TV, and today we are doing my reaction to my Premier Division predictions from the start of the season for 2024. And look, looking back at them, there's some that I've definitely got wrong, very wrong, some of them. And there's some that wasn't far off, and then there were some that I didn't get one spot on. But look, I think we said that at the start of the season, this was going to be one of the harder seasons to predict. So look, we'll go through them now and see how we did. So we'll start with the bottom of the table. I had a bit of a shocker here, to be honest. We went with Sligo to finish bottom, and they actually finished sixth. Um, look, I didn't expect it really, to be honest. I thought they'd be sort of down there, especially because they had a pretty poor 2023. They finished eighth. They were lucky that Cork were so bad that year that they didn't get into the playoff. And look, yeah, I hold my hands up and say I got this one wrong. They surprised a lot of people. I just thought with the players that he brought in, the way that things went for them in 2023, I just thought they'd really struggle. But look, they surprised many and finished sixth and had a pretty good season. They were sort of thereabouts for a European push for a lot of the season. Um, and look, they just sort of fell away at the end of finished sixth. But look, they'd have been pretty happy with that because I wasn't the only one that was tipping them to finish bottom of the league at the start of the season. So yeah, look, fair play to them. They surprised me and many others, and I was well off with that one. Then moving on to ninth, I actually had Galway in ninth, and they finished fifth in the end. Yeah, another one that I definitely didn't get spot on. I was very surprised by their season, like Sligo. I just thought going up from the first division, it'd be a bit of too much of a jump for them, really. We know that they had a lot of good players coming in from the first division, like Hurley and Walsh and like loads of players like that who done really well from the first division, and we weren't quite sure how they get on. We weren't really sure if their style of play would work in the Premier Division like it did in the first. But look, they took to the leg like it took the water, and they had a very good season, and they like Sligo were well in the race for Europe until the last sort of two or three games of the season. And look, look, hold my hands up again and say I got that one very wrong. So yeah, I predict Sligo or Galway even to finish ninth, and they finished fifth. So yeah, that's one I definitely got wrong. In eighth I had Waterford, but they actually finished seventh, so it wasn't too far off with this one. It did look like for one stage of the season that they were going to finish eighth. Um, with 10 minutes to go, we were beating them 1-0 in the second last game of the season, and if we had a got that win against Galway, we'd have leapfrogged them, and then they would have finished eighth. But yeah, it wasn't really, I wasn't far off with this one. Watford, halfway through the season, that was looking like a bad prediction. Me putting them in eighth. They were really, they were going really strong. They were really pushing for Europe. They were, fourth or fifth. They think they were as high as third at one stage during the season, and it looked like they were gonna, maybe even get Europe in the end. But second half of the season, they did stagnate. A lot of their players that have been performing for them in the first half of the season, like and his goals kind of dried up a little bit. Um, he still had a very good year, and I think I did say it in the prediction video that I do anticipate them to stay up comfortably, and they did in the end. They finished seventh and had a pretty decent season. I think they'll be a little bit disappointed with how the second half of the season went, but they still had a good year, and who knows, he could build on that. Next season, in seventh, I had Dundalk, and they actually finished bottom. So yeah, I was a bit off with that one. But I think a lot of people were saying at the start of the season that they weren't going to have a good year, just with everything that was going on. They lost a few players. And yeah, I think a lot of people just thought it wasn't going to be not their year. But I didn't envision things going down that bad for them this season. Obviously finished rock bottom with a bit of a whimper, really. Yeah, a lot of issues there. Off the pitch, on the pitch. You know, I think we definitely sort of anticipated them having a bad season, but I didn't see it going that bad. Relegated, like I said, with a whimper. So yeah, that's one I definitely got wrong. Then in sixth, I had Drogheda. They finished ninth. So another one that I didn't quite get. I just thought they would have had one of those seasons, like sort of what Sligo and Galway had, where they'd surprise a few people, and sort of punch above their weight, like they had done in the last few years. And look, they definitely achieved some good goals this season, getting to a cup final, potentially winning a cup. I think they'll probably win the playoff as well. And look, I know it's hard for them being a part-time team. But yeah, I probably maybe my expectations were a little bit too high for them. I know I did have them in sixth, and they finished ninth. But look, they still had a good year, all things considered. If they stay up and if even better win a cup, then they've had a great season, like, obviously, and yeah, look, I think next season, it could be hard for them if they do stay up. It might be a bit harder for them next year, but no, who knows? They could surprise a few, and I might actually get my prediction right for next season. But yeah, draw. I had them in six and they finished ninth, so yeah, a bit off with that one. Right, God, in fifth I had Bowls. We finished eighth in the end, of course. Yeah, God, it was what was I smoking back then? I just I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit too positive at times. Yeah, I just thought that maybe even though our signings were very shrewd and very unknown, I just thought that maybe a couple of them would work out and they'd come in and play well and surprise people. But yeah, I was very very optimistic about our chances last season. We obviously finished eighth, had a very poor season, bad recruitment. Changing the manager, and a lot happened, and it just didn't go the way I predicted. And look, that's definitely a lesson learned. I was definitely a bit too positive. A bit too positive is probably putting it lightly. Yeah, I got that one well off. And look, I think we all kind of knew that next season or this season that has just gone was going to be a bit of a slog. But I was definitely very optimistic in my approach. And look, like I said, we finished fifth, but we finished eighth. So yeah, that's definitely a lesson learned. To maybe not predict us to finish as high next year, depending on how the off season goes. So yeah, that's one I'll definitely be hoping to forget. In fourth went with Shales, and obviously they actually won the league. Yeah, look, I didn't think they'd have as good of a season as they did. I thought they'd get Europe again. Look, obviously after how they ended 2023 very well and got Europe in the end. And I thought that they'd carry it on. I didn't think they'd go even further and win the league. And yeah, look, fair play to them, really. They probably were the most consistent team throughout the course of the season. I was a bit surprised, really. I wasn't really mad about the recruitment at the start of the season that they did last year. But no, I still thought to get Europe just because of what they built under Duff that season. And look, they went one step further and won the league. And they surprised a few people. And look, yeah, it's not I didn't get that one miles off, really. Fourth, and they won the league. So yeah, that's one of my that's one of my lesser kind of bad ones. In third, I went with Derry and they finished fourth. Yeah, I sort of kind of anticipated kind of season that Derry would have at the start of the season. I just sort of felt that they weren't going to be quite good enough to push Rovers or even Pats. Just with the players that they have, and I've never particularly rated Higgins as a manager, to be honest. And yeah, I said they finished third, but they finished fourth in the end, and they had a pretty poor end of the season. Let's be honest, they really kind of threw it away. They drew a lot of games that they probably should have won, and obviously they have the cup now. That's their only chance of really salvaging anything from the season. If you lose that, then it's a bit of a disaster for a season. So, yeah, one that I definitely did. It's probably one of my better predictions of the whole of the whole of the table that I predicted last year. In second, I went with Pats when they actually finished third. Um, Look, to be fair, if I look back at that back in May or June, I would have thought, well, it was miles off there because they were I think they were as low as seventh or eighth at that stage of the season, but they had an absolutely unbelievable second half to the season. They won their last nine games, and yeah, they look a real threat next season. They really do. And look, yeah, I said they finished second, but they finished third, and look, they definitely had. looking back at the start of the season, the squad was definitely good enough to finish up there, and it did. They just needed a manager to come in like Stephen Kenny to breathe a bit of confidence into the players and get them firing, and he definitely did that in the back end of the season, and they're going to be a really really strong threat for the title next season, I think. So yeah, not a bad prediction there. Then in first, I had Rovers when they actually finished second, and look, I was about 10 minutes away from getting this prediction right when they had been completely written off. Sort of around August September time when we bet them in the league 2-1, and they were sixth, and people completely writ them off. And to be fair to them, they had a really good last couple of months of the season, and pushed right till the end, and were, like I said, 10 minutes away from winning the league. And Shell's got the goal, and that was that, really. Yeah, look, not a bad prediction really. I think most people would have expected Rovers to win the league, and obviously they didn't, but they were very close to doing so. And yeah, not a lot of people were anticipating Shell stop the season that they did. So yeah, that's not an awful prediction. So look, overall, some good, some bad. Probably mostly bad. Let's be honest. Putting us to finish fifth when he finished eighth, and having Dundalk at seventh when they had a really bad season and finished bottom. Some that I'm not too not feeling too bad about. Like having Pats in third, or in second, and they finished third, and having Derry in third, and when they finished fourth, there was a few. Rovers, had them first when they were only a few minutes away from winning the league. So yeah, there was a few that I was close enough with, and there was a few that I was a bit a bit well off with, but look, that's the way I think we knew it was going to go. It was a very unpredictable league. We knew that heading into it, and I think next season is definitely going to be even harder to predict. So that'll obviously come out sort of. I'll probably do that a week before the season starts, and wait for all the signings to come in, and we can look at the squads properly then and predict. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment down below what you thought about my predictions. Let us know some of your predictions as well. Were you close with some? Were you well off with some, like myself? And I'll see you tomorrow for the Stay or Go tier list video. Bye bye.